Well, what we showed is the three women's stories who all went in on different days into police custody, into the same station and experienced similar experiences, essentially coming out with the same story, that they had been strip searched, they felt, unnecessarily by the police. One of them, in a more darker twist to the story, thought that she may have been sexually abused, raped in the police cell, and had asked for CCTV to clarify what had happened, because at the time she was under the influence of drugs and she was not able to get all of the footage, and there were sections missing which the police were unable to provide for her. Following this, Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester, looked at it and indicated that he was going to talk to Dame Vera Bard, the former Victims Commissioner, about whether she could look into this and investigate it. And today we've got this formal announcement. And
so talk us through the announcement today. And of course, your original investigation, you published it a couple of weeks ago, so this is...
Yeah, it's just over 2 weeks since we put the original investigation out. And I think people were really shocked by some of the stories. Mm-hmm. There were women who were saying that they felt that they were strip searched for reasons that were pretty tenuous. One, for example, concealing a vape. They also felt that sometimes it was done maliciously, that the police were doing it because these women had perhaps offended them in other ways. One of them, for example, was originally arrested for swearing at the police. So what the Commissioner, what Dame Vera Bard is going to look at is the use of strip searches, the care given to female detainees when they're in custody. And I think this is a really important issue around how women, particularly vulnerable women or women with mental health issues, are looked after, especially if they've experienced sexual abuse in the past, for example. You know, what sort of care should be given to them? Should there be extra precautions around strip searching in those cases? How effectively complaints are handled? And I think that's a really key issue as well. All of these women felt that when they tried to complain about what happened to them, they hit a glass wall, they just got rebuffed, no one took them seriously, and effectively that's why they ended up coming to us. And it also looking at the inequality between women and men and whether there is a difference in the way that that is handled. And Dame Vera Bard says she's going to look at the accounts of these women, but see how widespread this is and what groups are there to support people.
And so Dame Vera Bard is going to carry out this independent investigation. Who will she be reporting that to? And is this just focused on one police force or one area, or is it going to be nationwide?
It is looking at Greater Manchester Police. So this was a particular police station in Greater Manchester Police. I mean, we have, since this report's come out, had women from other parts of the country, and indeed men, who have said that they had similar experiences of unnecessary strip searches. But it is Andy Burnham who has commissioned this report. And so Dame Vera Bard...
The Mayor of Greater Manchester.
The Mayor of Greater Manchester. So Dame Vera Bard will be looking at his police force specifically and reporting to him, but I'm quite sure that there will be wider lessons. And I think particularly around the complaints process and whether, there are wider implications for this. When you look at the number of times, and we've seen this, for example, with the Met Police, where predatory men, for example, have been able to continue to abuse women within the police force. We saw it with David Carrick, for example. Often, somewhere down the line, there's been a failure in the complaints system that might have stopped that happening sooner. So I think it is a really good thing that Dame Vera Bard, an independent person, is going to come in and look at not just strip searching, but also the complaint system.
And just finally, Jason, going back to your original story when we were chatting about it a few weeks ago, when you broke it, there was still that question of the missing CCTV footage. Any further developments on that?
Well, we understand that it was what Greater Manchester Police saying now is that it was corrupted, but they are going through forensic analysis to see whether they can recover those. There's 2 hours within the cell.
Just 2 hours were corrupted.
So there were 2 hours within the cell that they say they need to kind of go through a forensic recovery process to try and get hold of it. And they also say, we talked about the fact that there was a missing hour between the van, one of the women getting in a police van and going to the police station. They actually say that missing hour was down to differences in the time periods recorded by the two different cameras. So the two different cameras were on different time settings. That's what they say. So the body cam footage was on a different time setting to the camera footage in the cell.